Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Joyful Journeys. Today, I am joined by my friend Deanna Payne. We go way back, all the way to elementary school. So it is so exciting to have her on today to talk about her experience with Girls on the Run. Welcome, Deanna.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So go ahead, get us started. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about when you participated in Girls on the Run and a little bit about yourself now. What do you do?
Sure. Right now I actually work for the city of Fairfax. I work in the Parks and Rec department and I am the special events assistant manager. So I get to plan all of the really fun, exciting events for the city, which includes like 4th of July, Fall Festival, Chocolate Lovers Festival. So it's a really, really fun and engaging job. And it's a great way to kind of give back to the community that I love and whatnot. But also, it involves a lot of creativity and detail orientation, all that good stuff. So it is a good mix for me. So that's what I do now. Girls on the Run, though, oh my goodness. So, like you said, elementary school, that's where we got started. Um, I think I joined when I was probably maybe in 4th or 5th grade. Um, and I did it for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember exactly how long. I'm pretty sure I still have some of the t-shirts though. They're around here somewhere. And it was not initially what I had wanted to do or like the extracurricular that I had wanted to join, but my mom was like, "No, no, no, like you should really try this and just like see what you think." And lo and behold, I fell in love with it. I kept with it. So,
That's awesome. Well, when your
yeah.
mom first brought it up, like when you heard, oh, I want you to do Girls on the Run, what was your first thought? Like, what were you thinking it was going to be like?
I thought it was going to be so boring. I was like, you just want me to run? Like there's no game, there's no nothing. Like it's just running. Like what's the point? But I quickly learned that there was a lot more to it and there was a lot more teamwork than I initially had thought as well. So it was a very pleasant and welcome surprise.
I'm so glad that she was able to convince you to do it. And just from like previous times that we've talked about this, just that, like that you found so much out of it. And I'm so excited for you to tell us all a little bit more about what you found out of it. So I won't spoil anything just yet. But kind of, I guess, do you have any like favorite go-to memories? What do you remember from Girls on the Run?
I I remember like my favorite part of the practices was actually the very beginning. And it was when everyone was like, "Oh, like, will you run with me?" And that was truly like I told you this already. I was not very popular in elementary school, and I know that, and I'm okay with it. It's all good. Um, but it was the first place where I felt like I actually had a community that wanted to engage with me, and that was really exciting for me personally. And it was like, I don't know, it felt like an honor to be asked to be run with, to have a buddy, a running buddy. There were some days, when I did just want to run by myself, working through something or whatever, I just wanted to do it on my own. But most of the time I had a running buddy. I had someone I could, you know, push myself with and challenge and all that good stuff. And that felt really, really good. Um, I remember there was one practice in particular. It was a really hard practice, and I don't remember why, but I just remember, I think it was Coach Kathy at the very end asking us to just like, she was yelling at us. She was like, go, go, like, keep going, keep pushing towards the very end, like, don't give up. And I was like, okay, okay, we got this. Let's go, let's go. And it felt really good by the end of the practice, like, just to end on it. It felt like ending on a high note. So, the other one was the one race where the assistant coach, I'm so sorry. I forget most of their names because it was a while ago.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. But I think it was Pamela or Pam. She was the assistant coach though. And we did a race. And for like we had all started together and then eventually kind of fizzled out. And I was somewhere in like the middle of the pack. And I ended up alone, but I ended up kind of catching up with her. And she was like, girl, I'm struggling. Like we're almost there, but I don't like I need a break. And I was like, nah, come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, we're gonna finish this race together. And we did. And it was so much fun. And she thanked me afterwards. And I kind of touched on this with you earlier, but I was so taken aback. I was like, why is she thanking me? I didn't like, you're the coach. But it was so rewarding. And the just like two people of very different generations, you know, were coming together and doing a thing, something that we both really enjoy. And like, I didn't think I had much to offer. And so the fact that I was able to help her and she helped me in return and we both finished the race together was a really memorable experience for me.
Oh my gosh. That's so, so sweet. Um, do you think that like that
Mhm.
interaction and realizing like, wow, I had an impact on like this adult who is my coach who's supposed to be doing that for me? Like how did that feel being able to inspire her like that?
It was, I mean, clearly it has made an impact because I've held on to it for all these years. I I take that moment and I have I think applied it elsewhere in my life and just been like, you know, maybe I do have more to offer than I think, you know, and it can be a little moment. It doesn't have to be big grand gestures or anything. It can just be a, hey, no, like I'm gonna do the hard thing with you. We're gonna finish it together and it's gonna be okay.
Uh,
So
that's a
yeah.
really sweet reminder. And I love that. I mean, it can just be applied anywhere. It could be seeing someone drop something and picking it up and doing like a small gesture like that. Like to me, like that's kind of what that instills. And if I'm sure I probably had an experience like that somewhere along the line.
Mhm.
But that's so sweet. That's just kind of like that little reminder that like you can do these really empowerful, like empowerful things for other people.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Well, tell us, is there anything in your job now or in your life now that you think, oh, Girls on the Run set me up for success in this? Or anything that happens at work that you're like, wow, this is just like Girls on the Run? Anything like that?
Oh my goodness, yes. Um, there's two big things. The first one is pacing, and then I'll get to the second. So pacing myself, as you know, like I have really bad asthma, and that has always affected like what my body has been able to do, and how far it's been able to push itself or not. So figuring out my pace and what works best with my body has been crucial. Um, I have a really good work ethic. I'm very proud of that fact. Um, but I have a tendency to overdo it and burn out. And one of the things that the Girls on the Run coaches taught me was not to do that. Don't give it all right at the beginning, like settle into it, find your pace, find your groove. It's a lot longer, like, and it's okay. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take a little breather and then pick right back up. So finding that pacing has been huge throughout my life because I realize, oh, you know, maybe this isn't sustainable for me. And maybe I shouldn't go this hard this fast, or I need to pull back here. I need to take a moment. I need to rest. So figuring out kind of where I need to be, where my sweet spot is has been huge. Not that I won't still overdo it sometimes, but but it's
Happens.
okay. It's a lot better now.
Good, good.
Um, the other thing is just being patient and listening to my body and figuring out recovery time. So, you know, when you're going those long stretches, when I'm working really hard with event planning and whatnot, it's a lot of go, 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 especially leading up to the event. And then on the actual day of the event, you know, I'm schlepping tables and chairs and I'm putting up signage and I'm directing people and I'm helping with the public. There's a lot of moving parts. And so I have been really intentional post event, once all the cleanup is done, to really take time for myself. And that's one of the things that I would say Girls on the Run has definitely instilled in me is that, like, once you finish the race, like it's okay to just rest. It's okay to just be. It's okay to recover. Like you don't have to go on to the next race right away. Um, I think oftentimes like the like with my asthma and whatnot, I felt like I couldn't do as much as other people sometimes, and I really wanted to. And so I would overdo it and push and try to compensate, and it would get me in trouble. Um, so again, it kind of goes back to that pacing aspect of it. But that's the second part is just like listening to my body and being like, no, it's okay. We're gonna rest right now. And I don't need to feel guilty about it. I can just be.
Yeah, those are two such big things that, like you said, they can be applied to running, physical activity, or just applied to everyday
Just
life.
life.
And
Yeah.
yes, seriously. I mean, so many girls since I've been coaching, and
Hmm.
I mean, I could probably count the number of girls on my hand, on one hand, that understood pacing coming into Girls on the Run, and whether that's running
Wow.
wise or life wise. Um, but I mean, at the beginning of when we're like, okay, let's get moving, let's get going. And they're like, okay. And they start sprinting. It's like, no, we don't want to use all our energy right now. We want to spread it out. We are in this for the long haul. It's not
Mhm.
just a quick there and we're done. Um, and so, I mean, that's so good to hear that you were able to take that and apply it to every part of your life. I hope that all of the girls that I've coached are able to do that too. They've definitely gotten better by the end of the
Good.
with pacing themselves. But it takes a lot of practice
It
and
does,
it's
yes.
kind of trial and error. Like you're not going to get it right on the first time. That's okay. You're going to
Hmm.
review it, you're going to pick the pieces back up, and then you're going to try again. And like you said, sometimes that means you need a little rest at the end, a little time to recover and listening to your body. The best thing you can do.
Truly. You said it better than I could.
No, I just paraphrased. You said it perfectly.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, huh. I was like, I don't know that there is an experience like Girls on the Run currently in my life. Like it is such a unique thing. I I'm all for women in sports and whatnot, and like having a central community that you can go to and whatnot. I don't have a group like that right now in my life, but I will say the community that comes out of Girls on the Run, the friends that you make, the lessons that you learn, like I am so grateful for it now because I I've seen my life take a very different direction without those. I could see a different direction if I hadn't had those lessons early on. Also, just like the physical part of it, I care a lot about like my physical well-being and whatnot. And I am so grateful that like I know how to run because it means I can participate in more. Like I play pickleball with my partner and whatnot, and it's there's a little more running than you think.
Yeah, it's intense.
There's a lot of moving around. Like I can go on a run, I can go on walks. I love to go hiking and whatnot. And those are, I remember having this conversation with my mom. She was like, I never learned how to run. And she was like, and I don't know how to. Like I don't even know if I tried to that I would do it right. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much I took this for granted. But yeah, I do. I carry Girls on the Run in my heart.
Oh, I love that. That's so amazing to hear. I mean, of course, you don't know what your life would have been without Girls on the Run, but the fact that it is kind of like stayed prevalent in your heart and your mind, like so
Yeah.
many years later, is
Hmm.
cool. Like the fact that it stuck with you.
It really, really has. Yeah. I I'll add one more thing. I will say, I think another thing like going into Girls on the Run, because like I said, I wasn't gung-ho about going in and doing it necessarily, but I am so glad I still said yes and gave it a chance. Because I think I discovered not only a lot about myself, but like around the people around me as well. Um, in terms of what we can do individually, but also together. And
Yeah.
that was really, really exciting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Especially learning that as a kid and just realizing
Mhm.
like, wow, I can make an impact like as an individual. I can make an
Yeah.
impact with my team, with my community. That's kind of a big thing. Because I feel like as a kid, you don't necessarily realize like how big the world is, how big your community is. And you kind of think, oh, it's just it might be a small little bubble.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
I
when you
know
realize like, wow, no, I can make a difference in this and in something bigger, like that's really empowering.
it is. Yes, that is the perfect way of putting it, actually. It is. It is very empowering.
Well, I'm so glad that your mom convinced you to do Girls on the Run. I am a little jealous because honestly, our moms probably talked because my mom tried so hard to convince me to do Girls on the Run, and I rebelled very strongly. So I did not
Did
end up.
not. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is hilarious. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, she tried very, very hard to get me to do it, and I so strongly said no. I have no idea why I said no. I I don't remember like any emotions toward not wanting to do it. Maybe it was just the day she asked, who knows? But
Oh my
I
gosh.
I'm slightly jealous that I didn't get to experience it as a kid, but I know that experiencing it as an adult, as a coach, I mean, I still learned so much. I still learn something every single season that I coach. And even though I've done some of the lessons multiple times, I can still pick out a new piece of information and I've learned to apply it to my everyday life. I have learned that it's not too late to learn new things and to apply new things to your life. So
Mhm.
I'm very lucky that I still get a chance to learn the lessons that the girls and girls on the run learned, but a little jealous I didn't get to learn them as a kid.
Fair enough. No, you'll have many lessons that I'm sure your kiddos are going to take away.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely, definitely.
that's good.
Well, Deanna, thank you so, so much for joining us today and giving us a little insight into how Girls on the Run really had a pretty big impact on your life, which was so, so special to hear about. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This episode of Joyful Journeys is brought to you by Girls on the Run of Northern Virginia.